We don't just talk about the news, we talk to those making news. This is the Steve Malzberg Show.
After 8 years of delay, those allegedly responsible for the attacks of September the 11th will finally face justice. They will be brought to New York, to answer for their alleged crimes in a courthouse just blocks away from where the Twin Towers once stood.
All right, folks, you know who that is, and you know what he's talking about. We are joined right now by a man who has a lot to say. He was just down at the latest round of the terror trials, because don't forget, the mastermind, the people who planned 9/11, they still have not been brought to justice. And joining us now is Don Arias, retired lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Air Force and host of a local morning talk show in Northwest Florida called Waking Up with Don. Hello, Don. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning or good afternoon, as it is.
No more good morning. That's gone. But and we should point out also, of course, the brother of Adam Arias, who was killed in the South Tower of the World Trade Center. I got to say, you and our good friend Deborah Burlingame and so many of the parents and the fathers and the mothers and the sisters and the brothers that I've come to know of the victims of 9/11 over the many, many years. You've all done such wonderful work in bringing issues to light, keeping the focus and the spotlight where it needs to be. And I know that your loved ones, and in your case, of course, your brother Adam is looking down and just has to be so proud of you.
Well, thank you for saying that. That's actually a comforting thought. And, we do what we do as family members because I know my brother would do the same thing for me. So, I'm going to see this thing to the bitter end, no matter how long it takes.
All right, so you were down in Guantanamo Bay, and they were having the proceedings, and all of a sudden, this monkey wrench comes flying, whoom, and the revelation that the FBI has been involved in some way, shape, or form, which led the judge to say, time out. Let's find out what the heck's going on around here. Tell us what it was like and what happened and how it happened.
Well, it was the first day when we were down there. So, this was an emergency motion that the defense had made while we were there the very first day. They waited till the 11th hour, till the court was convened, and just threw this monkey wrench in there and said that, hey, my defense team, and this is David Nevin, who is the chief defender of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, says that, this has a chilling effect on our rapport with our clients. So we 9/11 family members, when we heard the defense claim that they couldn't defend adequately because of an FBI investigation into a leak, and that leak was Khalid Sheikh Mohammed's manifesto. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the invitation to happiness, that 30-page diatribe that someone on the defense team snuck out to the British press. We immediately were suspicious.
Yeah, why? So you believe, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I'll ask it this way. Do you believe that this was some kind of setup, that the FBI or higher-ups using the FBI wanted this trial not to proceed on that particular day?
Well, we did suspect that it was some sort of well-orchestrated snafu, and why wouldn't we think that? I mean, given recent scandals like the Obamacare lie of the year, IRS targeting, Benghazi, Fast and Furious, all these other things.
I want to tell you that there's not a smidgen of impropriety in any of those,
Barely a smidgen.
Not a smidgen. Yeah, go ahead.
And so, our distrust of the government bubbled to the top right away. So some of us suspected high-level sabotage was taking place at the tribunals to drive them into federal court, which, A.G. Holder has said that's where they should be.
Yeah.
But we did have a tumultuous meeting with the defense team. The defense, they're the bad guys down there, and they know it. They're in an indefensible position, really. They're having image problems. So they wanted to meet 9/11 families to educate us, to tell us that, hey, we feel your pain.
And when was this? Was this after the proceedings were halted, or?
That's correct.
Okay.
So here we were thinking that maybe this is some sort of, high-level White House kind of plot thing. But after meeting the defense team and seeing firsthand what kind of people they are, like this David Nevin, who said he loved his job. I surmised a more likely scenario was this self-inflicted wound to use to discredit the commission. So, I've come to learn and believe deep in my heart that, David Nevin and his ilk are not trying the trial. They're fighting the forum. They want to, discredit. They want to make the military tribunals look inept, and they're doing a good job of it. Someone leaked this document, and then, just as an aside, David Nevin says that his defense team was approached by the FBI, but that's a lie. They were not approached by the FBI. It was a mid-level functionary who has an administrative function to enter whatever the defense wants into the record. So this is a person who has no privilege, is not privy to any kind of tactics or defense.
Well, how did you find this out now? Because Nevin didn't tell you this part, did he?
No, he did not tell us that. I just through my my 9/11 network of friends out there.
Okay.
This is the person that was approached.
So you went from believing at the time that, hey, there's something screwy here. This is a plot that using the FBI to get, by the Justice Department possibly, or higher than that, to get these tribunals, closed down and to get this trial moved to New York and the civilian courts. And then you met with the defense attorneys, and now you have learned, you say, and you believe that the defense attorneys are full of baloney. Is that what, am I getting this right?
It's just a dirty trick by the defense.
Because they have an interest in moving this? Is that their motivation, to move it to the civilian courts?
That is their whole going-in position. When I asked David Nevin why he does what he does and what it felt like to sit next to the guy that carved off Danny Pearl's head, he started giving me a lecture on the Constitution. So, this is the type of people that we're dealing with. So, this FBI, this person who was approached by the FBI to become an informant was not a member of the defense team, but a security officer in Virginia whose job it is to enter whatever the defense liked into the record. So he was an administrative functionary, had no privilege, and is not privy to any strategy or tactics. And basically, David Nevin lied.
All right. So is the judge? Is he that naive or that out of the loop? Did he not know? Do you believe he'll now see the truth? If he didn't see it at the beginning and couldn't be expected to know, will he now find out what you're telling me, and will he reprimand Nevin, or what do you think is going to happen next?
I think the judge is super permissive, and I think he wants to take away all excuses later on. He's letting them exhaust themselves. But, I've also learned from my friends that, this whole latest event is not anything unique. Similar investigations happen all the time when defense leaks information it's not supposed to disclose. And the procedure for that is pretty simple. They assemble an FBI team and a prosecution team that have absolutely nothing to do with the trial while they do their investigation, and they keep all that information away from the teams that are actually in trial.
Right. So why doesn't I understand the judge bending over backward, for historical purposes and for appeal purposes and everything else, but is he not aware of this?
I don't know what he's aware of. I mean, he's not talking. These defense lawyers complain it's a strategic gambit by the government to undermine the defense. But what's really happening here is the defense is trying to sow problems into the record so later on, if there ever is a conviction, they can get the conviction reversed on appeal due to some claim of violation of attorney-client privilege.
Unbelievable.
This is a really seedy and disgusting tactic to use in this 9/11 case. It's disgraceful.
Well, Don, very briefly, I mean, are you going back? What's the next court date set, or is there one?
I don't know the answer to that. They meet very infrequently, and that's a structural problem, I think.
So these guys get to continue playing soccer on the multi-million-dollar soccer field, living in the lap of luxury while the world thinks that they're suffering like animals, and now this just goes on and on and on and on and on.
You know, when I saw them, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and the others in the courtroom, they looked tanned and relaxed. They talked amongst themselves. They were wearing their traditional garb. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed had dyed his beard red, which is a sign of power and supremacy. And Ramzi bin al-Shibh was wearing a military-style camouflage jacket. So
why do they allow that? Why do they allow that?
Good question.
Oh,
they consider themselves soldiers. Why aren't we treating them like soldiers in the military commissions?
Don, listen, God bless you and the memory of your brother. And you know, we'll talk. Keep us informed. I want to certainly keep the public informed as well. And you're a great go-between for that and a source of information. Thank you so much, sir.
And thank you very much for listening to me, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you. Don Arias, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back with Gimme 5 on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax Television.
The Steve Malzberg Show.